"I'd like to rent room 404, the funny guy said. He was one of the most eccentric in terms of both appearance and order. His face was dark, his back was short, and his voice was forced. His voice was hoarse, as if he had to force it out of his mouth. In addition, he was wrapped in a black coat in this hot weather. "I've explained it to you many times," he said. "Room 404 does not exist in this building. The owner said it was bad luck. Like this one." I showed him the floor plan. "There is no room between rooms 403 and 405. How many times have I explained this to you? I know there is no room 404. But you have to rent it. Is this guy handicapped? Or is some yakuza out to get him? I'm not kidding. I've been doing business honestly. I've explained it to you many times. I can't lend you what I don't have because I don't have it. I understand that. I will pay you. You just need to make a contract with me and sign a document saying that you will rent room 404. I don't care if you don't have the room. You don't need the room." This guy is crazy. There's no doubt about it. I lost my patience and raised my voice. "Hey, I'm going to call the police if you don't stop this nonsense. If you're just a tourist, get the hell out of here." The director noticed the noise and came slinking out from the back of the office. I was furious and told him the whole story. After hearing the whole story from me, the director said, "Sir, may I ask you to tell us more about yourself?" He sat down in the chair I had been sitting in. He sat down on the chair where I had been sitting and began to talk to the strange customer. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but would you mind excusing yourself?" Well, I'll let the director do what he wants. Of course he's in over his head. "I've never heard of him renting a room he doesn't have," he said. I had never heard of such a thing. I retreated to the back of the office to see how long the director would put up with it. I was listening to him, trying to see how long he would put up with it. The manager was apologizing, saying something like, "No, I'm sorry, sir." I could hear the director apologizing, but soon there was nothing but whispering. "When will it shut off?" I waited for about half an hour, wondering when it would shut off. "Hey, buddy. We've got something to talk about." The manager approached me. "We're going to rent room 404 to you. Is this director an idiot? Has this summer heat made him crazy?" "But, boss, how can you rent something you don't have? How can I get what I don't have?" "As usual. I'll make up the paperwork and go through the formalities." We both agreed on room 404. "There is no problem. It's a big deal. What do you say to the owner?" "I just got confirmation. They don't care about the details as long as the rent is paid." "That's a mess. What are you going to tell the authorities?" "It's an empty room, so there's no need to report it. Just keep your mouth shut." But still, he's the warden. All the problems seem to have been taken care of. So get the paperwork done. Here's the money. The man in all black said in a gloomy voice, opened the bag in his hand, and took out a wad of bills. "Yes, I will make it immediately. We will make it immediately. Come on, you, hurry up." I reluctantly went along with this foolish story at the behest of the manager, who was now in a good mood. I reluctantly went along with this nonsense. I asked him to sign it. He even blacked out his hands. His handwriting was strange and hard to read, but I heard his name was Nyoru Hotep. "Nyoru Hotep," he said. "When the procedure is over," he says, "well then, I'm sorry to have disturbed you." I said, "Well, I'm sorry for interrupting you. I have to get ready to move now, so I'll leave you now." The guy walked out of the office. He walked out of the office. I don't know what to think. What if you get involved in some weird crime? It doesn't matter if it's weird or not. It doesn't matter if it's strange or not. I don't understand why you want to rent a room that doesn't exist, but there are all kinds of people in the world. But he did say something about moving out. What if they force you to move into a room somewhere else? If they do, We'll just kick them out. I only rented room 404, so room 404 is fine. Room 404 is fine, but anything else is a no-go. A week later, I went to the building to check on the current situation. Remembering what happened a week ago, I took the elevator to the 4th floor to check out the 4th floor, and there was room 404. I guessed that the guy had forcibly taken up residence in one of the rooms and rewrote the room plates. I knew I was in trouble after all. I rang the bell and a pitch-black fellow appeared from inside the room. "Oh, you're the guy from the other day, what can I do for you?" "Hey, what the hell are you doing? You're supposed to rent room 404. As you can see, it's room 404. What's so funny?" "He's playing dumb." "Don't play dumb with me. You'll get me in trouble with the police. Get your stuff and get out of here." "I'm afraid I didn't do what you think I did." "Take a good look." I counted the rooms on the 4th floor. According to the floor plan, there are rooms 401 through 405. Of these, room 404 was not on the floor. So there are 4 rooms. 4 rooms means 4 doors. It is a simple calculation. But somehow there were 5 doors. So, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. He slammed the door behind him, but I was not convinced. In desperation, I decided to check all the other rooms. The resident of room 401 said, "I thought you said there was no room 404. Come to think of it, that's what I think. But if it's there now, it must have been there from the beginning." The occupant of room 402 said, "You say, room 404. It is true that there was no room in the beginning. It seems to have been built before I knew it and people are living there. It's a little strange, but it doesn't really bother us. It's a little strange, but it doesn't really bother us." The occupant of room 403 said, "I said, are you my neighbor? I said hello when I moved in, but it was nothing out of the ordinary." The occupant of room 405 said, "Are you the neighbor? You look so cool in black. Is he an actor? What does that mean?" I went to the other floors, all of them have 4 doors, which means only the 4th floor has 5. If there are 5 doors on the 4th floor, it means that room 404 must have come out of nowhere. I'll ask the superintendent. When I went to ask the manager said, "When you told me you were moving into room 404, I thought there was some kind of mistake with that guy. When I went to the 4th floor with him, I found it was really there. I was surprised, but there are many things in this world. The paperwork is in order, the owner knows about it, and I don't think there will be any problems." "Is there anything unusual?" "He seems to be a man of many customers. Many of them have a strangely flat face. I asked him what he does for a living once. He seems to run some kind of counseling center. I heard that they help people in their own country with their problems. The people in the next room and the superintendent should wonder more. It seems to be true that city people are indifferent to others." I decide to go to the 4th floor again and ring the bell of his room again. "It's you again. I hope you've had enough. Excuse me, can you show me the room? I've paid to rent this room. You have no right to come in here without permission." "That's right. But I can't stand it." I tried to push him out of the room to force him to let me look inside. I tried to push him out of the way to enter the room to take a look inside. Then I felt a thump in the empty space. What is this? It was empty, but it felt as if it were made of bulletproof glass. The room is not for the uninitiated. I'm the property of the management company. That doesn't give you the right to enter without permission. I don't. Damn. That's right. While I was arguing with him, the elevator opened and I heard someone's voice. "Oh, here it is, here it is. Oh, here we are, room 404. Oh, hello, I'm here to deliver your order. I've been waiting for you. This is the room. Bring it in." "Yes, sure." The vendor then walked through the space where I had been shunned without any resistance and entered the room. Hey, why does he have to go in there? Because his job is to deliver packages, and he has to go into the room. Makes sense. I tried to think of something to do, but nothing came to mind. I couldn't come up with anything. I would withdraw from the situation, but I would definitely look inside the room. Whatever the magic trick is, I'm sure there must be a trick. There must be a trick. I'm going to find out how it's done. Then I couldn't get any work done. I thought about all the things I could do to give him a break, but I just couldn't think of anything. I couldn't think of anything to do. The director said to me, "What's the matter with you? You've been acting so strange lately." The director called out to me. I told him everything that had been going on. I told him everything that had been going on. He said, "Well, you shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do anything that would intrude on the privacy of my customers. I shouldn't intrude on a customer's privacy. But he lives in room 404. It is indeed strange. But he pays his rent well. What more do you want from a management company? What more do you want from a management company? Don't you think it's strange?" No. Why? Because they're paying us. I'm not getting anywhere. If you do anything to inconvenience the customer, it will affect your appraisal. Now, don't get lost in this nonsense. Don't be distracted by trivial things, work hard. Nonsense? Nonsense? The warden, the manager, and the other residents are out of their minds. But finally the time came when my doubts were answered. It was a month later. Oh, boy. The person in room 404 is going to move out. I need you to be present for the handover. I did it. I finally had something to do. This is a noble errand that can't be cheapened in any way. I'm sorry to hear you're moving out, but I'll make sure I find out what's going on. Just don't be rude. I ring the bell for room 404. Hey, let me come in. As soon as the door opens, I step out. Okay, he said, I'm in. This time, I was able to get into the room easily without being blocked. It was a bit disconcerting to be let in so easily. Can you please hurry up and check? I don't care what the black-robed cockroaches are saying. I took my time to check inside the room I had finally entered. I checked the room I had finally let myself in. I searched frantically to see if there was anything strange or out of place. But after an hour of searching, I couldn't find anything strange. I looked for an hour, but I could not find anything strange. It was just an ordinary room. I was completely at a loss. I was completely at a loss. I give up. I really want to know how you did it. Please tell me. What do you mean? This room. How did you get an extra room? I didn't do anything. The room was created because of the contract. The room disappears as soon as the contract ends. You've already checked it. I'm leaving. What about you? What the hell are you talking about? What contract? He must have some kind of a secret tool or something. I'll do whatever it takes to find it. I'll do whatever it takes to find it. Oh, sure. I'm done checking. It's beautiful. You're coming home with me. I don't want to walk side by side with this creep. Well, after you. With that, he left the room. After he left, I continued to search the room, but could not find anything. I noticed that it was getting dark outside. It was already evening. I opened the door and left. I opened the door and tried to leave. But the door wouldn't open. I fumbled with the lock, but it wouldn't open. I had a bad feeling about this, so I tried opening the window, but it wouldn't open either. I couldn't even go out on the balcony. I looked at the clock. But it was getting darker and darker. I hear walking noises coming from outside, as if other residents on the 4th floor are walking down the hallway. I knock on the door. Hey, open up, I shout. The residents pass by, completely oblivious. Why is it so dim outside in the first place? It's only 3 o'clock now, why is it getting dark? When I look outside, the scene is completely different from what I had seen before. What I had seen outside before was just an ordinary townscape. What I had been seeing outside was just an ordinary townscape. But now I can't see anything outside. There is nothing but a pitch-dark space. 6 months have passed since then. I remember his words. The room will disappear when the contract ends. Maybe he doesn't want the room to disappear. I don't know, maybe he doesn't want the room to disappear. I'm going to check the current situation and leave this room. So as long as I'm in here, this room can exist. As long as I'm in here. The room doesn't seem to want me to die. There is always plenty of food in the refrigerator. Somehow, there is water and electricity. I want to get out of here. I wonder if I will stay like this forever.